got your black.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DePrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of black talk radio, Dominique DePrima. Go sis.
First things first.
Good morning and good morning. First things first with Dominique DePrima. I am James Farr and I'm sitting in for the Queen this morning on this final Tuesday of 2025. Just 2 more days until we are off and into a new year. As always, first thing I always want to give thanks to the Most High and give praise to God for the blessings and the many things that He has bestowed upon me, my family, the delegation, and all of you out there, man. It's going to be a full 3 hours today, packed in on this, what is usually a talking point Tuesday, and we definitely going to talk about some things. In my third hour, we're going to have Pastor K.W. Tullis. We're going to unpack, kind of a look forward into 26, right? We've learned a lot of things in 2025, and Pastor Tullis and I are going to look forward, right, into 2026. In my second hour, Dr. Melina Abdullah, professor of Pan-African Studies at Cal State LA and co-founder of Black Lives Matter Grassroots and Los Angeles. She's going to be in this. We're going to take a national look at, again, moving forward into 26. And in my first hour, I'm going to keep it local. A lot happening here in the region, specifically in Pasadena on this upcoming Thursday, the first day of the new year. It's, they say everything is coming up roses. The Rose Parade is in town. People are in the region from all across the country and the world. And we want to kind of give a little bit of historical context, have some great folks that are going to be joining me in this hour. It's going to be a sports talk, y'all. So I'm telling y'all right now, but we're going to look grounded in some local stuff. And joining me this hour, he's a veteran journalist covering Chicago. He's from Chicago, and he's the voice of the KBLA Sports Minute and the weekend host of Out of Bounds, which airs right here on KBLA. I love his tagline: no debates, no speculation, just the information that you need. Ray Richardson is in the building, and then also he is the founder and president of the Pasadena Sports Hall of Fame, a lifelong Pasadena resident, a sports historian, archivist, and the host of the highly anticipated new podcast, Go Pasadena. Lawrence Todd is in the studio with me. Good morning, brothers. How are you? From a start with Ray. Good morning, Ray. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fine, James. Thanks for having me, man. Good morning to you.
Absolutely, Brother Todd. Meet Brother Ray. Brother Todd, good morning. How you doing?
It's good. Early.
Well, early. That's what the Gap Band said, right? Charlie and them said, right?
Charlie.
Uncle Charlie said you gotta get up early in the morning. So Ray, we gonna do this. We want to definitely look at some of the top sports stories, and I couldn't think of two better people to kind of help me navigate that. I'm at best at this season of my life a casual sports consumer. You two, y'all in between the lines, right, with it every day, and Ray is probably the most heard voice here on KBLA Talk 1580 with his twice an hour updates, and I look forward to him. You know what I mean? I get to it. But Ray, so what's coming up here is the Rose Bowl. Brother Todd took issue with me a couple of weeks ago when I was sitting in this same seat with DeMarco Farr, Super Bowl champion, Los Angeles Rams broadcaster, sports talk radio host, right? National champion, all the. He played in 3 Rose Bowls with Washington Huskies on that undefeated team, and also my cousin, right? But UCLA is leaving Pasadena, Ray, and I said that the Rose Bowl is a toilet bowl.
Ooh.
It's a dump.
Are we clear on that yet?
So
That's an interesting way to put that.
So I'm gonna go to you first, Ray. Agree or disagree? You been in the Rose Bowl?
Well, I don't. You know what? I understand where you're coming from with that, but this year, the Rose Bowl is going to have a lot more significance than it's had quite a while.
Why?
Excuse me. In Indiana, and speaking of top stories in sports, Indiana football this year is up there. I mean, that school has never had this kind of prominence in college football ever in the history of that school.
Mm-hmm.
For them to turn around, what has been traditionally and historically a basketball school.
Mm-hmm.
To become a football powerhouse, that's big.
I nothing against the Hoosiers. They earned it. They balling, right? But we talking about this dump, right? This antiquated 100-year plus iconic, yes, iconic, historic venue. That's just my position on it. The drain on the municipal services for the city, the bonds that the city has issued. I'm looking at it fiscally as well as from a guest experience. Brother Todd, this is your chance to, make your claim. Why isn't the Rose Bowl a toilet? And then why isn't SoFi a better place for the Bruins to host their home games?
Like I said, the Rose Bowl is iconic. You can't mention collegiate football or any great history in collegiate football without mentioning the Rose Bowl. But we've also had some of the best in entertainment. We've hosted Michael Jackson. We've had quite a few entertainers that come here. The Rose Bowl has been a venue for not just sports, but for, it's been a great fan experience.
Mm-hmm.
The SoFi Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it will ever have that same niche as the Rose Bowl has. Go back to 1890. We've been doing this for a long time.
I don't disagree with the symbolism. I don't disagree that it is iconic. I don't disagree with its historical relevance to college football and the fact that the world will be watching Pasadena. The world will be watching that Rose Parade. They will be watching Indiana and Alabama on Wednesday afternoon. But it's still a dump. When we come forward, we're going to continue this conversation. Ray Richardson is on the line, host of here at KBLA Talk 1580. Lawrence Todd is in the building, a sports historian from the area. We're going to pick it up. Rose Parade is here. Quick preview of the game on Wednesday. Little look into the history of the area. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. We got you black.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to partner with the Empowerment Congress once again for their 34th annual summit. The summit's theme is From Vision to Action, a forum to unlock participatory democracy, and will feature a nonpartisan gubernatorial candidate forum focused on issues of importance to the African American community. The summit is the signature public policy-oriented observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy during the national 3-day holiday weekend that celebrates his life. This year's summit will be held on Saturday, January 17th, 2026 at the California Science Center in Exposition Park from 9 to 11 a.m. Admission is free, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. All major announced candidates for California governor for the Democratic and Republican Party nominations have been invited to participate in the candidate forum, which will be moderated by Tavis Smiley. An all-star panel of journalists will pose questions to the candidates, and the forum will be broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580. This is going to be a big year for local, state, and national politics. The political pulse of 2026 beats on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
He's on his way, he's going to Hollywood, he's busting into Hollywood. Show him the way, he's moving to Hollywood, he's hopping into Hollywood. He's on his way, he's going to Hollywood, he's busting into Hollywood. Show him the way, he's moving to Hollywood, he's hopping into Hollywood. He's waited at bus stops all his life. He's been in and out of those spaces, seeing eyes that spoke to him from sad and empty places, sad and empty places.
KBLA Talk 1580. You're not getting back with Dominique DePrima. You are getting back with James Farr, and I am sitting in for Dominique for just this last day. The Queen will be back on Monday. And I'm sure she's rested and looking forward to getting back in the seat and talking to all of you. I miss hearing her on air, and can't wait for her to get back in her chair. Right now, I am joined by Ray Richardson and Lawrence Todd, both probably walking Wikipedias of sports and information, and they live in between the lines. And every now and then, Ray, you call some flags. You call it exactly like you see it. That's what I like
Thank you.
about your minute, man. Now, I am curious. I mean, listening to your report this morning, you got something coming in the afternoon. What happened last night with the Rams?
Last night was not a good night for the Rams. And sometimes you can have a team that plays so well most of the season, but it's hard to be a very efficient team from start of the season to the end. And the Rams are just going through something right now. That game that they lost at Seattle last week, I think is still in their blood a little bit, because that was not a game they should have lost. And it carried over to the first half last night. I mean, they were down 21-0 at half. You could tell that they were not the same team they've been like the first 3 months of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And to their credit, they made a nice comeback, but all the chances they had to win that game, they just couldn't pull it off. They couldn't get it done. Matthew Stafford, I think, is somebody that it looks like, he sort of has regressed a little bit because he was really a strong MVP candidate for, the first 14 games of the season. He only had 2 interceptions through the first 11 games, and in the last 5 games he's had 6, including last night. And if he's not on his game, that offense they have is going to struggle a little bit, because they've got the pieces around him, but he's got to be more efficient than that, and he's got to get himself back on track before the playoffs. If not, I don't know if they're going to get past the first round or not, but that is still a good team.
Mm-hmm.
They've got one of the most impressive offenses in the NFL, but you can tell that they might be a little tired right now, and they've got to get themselves back on track.
No rest for the Larry Todd. Could this be the decline? Have we seen a season that with the Rams that ends up as a bust?
I don't think so. I think that we have to realize is that when we get down to the playoff season, we start to really see that defense is most important.
Mm-hmm.
Offense will always be offense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any lack of confidence in the Rams offense. My concern is the defense. Everybody's coming now. This is where all the chips are. So
we're gonna see. I want let's hop over into Pasadena, right? And this Rose Parade and this historic event. There's a huge economic impact that comes into the area as a result of this. This is the single biggest New Year's Day event, certainly in the state, in the region, and perhaps in the country, right? Everyone, and including around the world, are watching. And Ray, the damage from the fires up in Altadena and Pasadena, this year's event takes on a different significance. It's when that parade ends, they'll be looking right at the foothills, your high school, Pasadena
right.
High, where the fire actually started. But Brother Todd, Lawrence Todd with the Pasadena Sports Hall of Fame, the historical significance. You have a Midwest team, you have a team from the Deep South. Mm-hmm. Coming way to the left coast. It looks different in the city right now.
It does. I mean, Alabama's coming in. They have a long storied history here with the Rose Bowl. So we know about them in Pasadena. Indiana hadn't been here since 1958-ish.
Mm-hmm.
That was their first time, and that was a different time in the world and in Pasadena.
How different was it in Pasadena? Because that's long after Jackie Robinson and Mac Robinson and maybe some of the other more storied names that people know from the area. But what was, if someone didn't, people come in today in 2025, see this kind of cosmopolitan city, right? This diverse city, this people just commingling.
Yes.
What was Pasadena in 1958?
In 1958, our schools had not been integrated yet.
Mm.
So, and there were still some areas where African Americans in the San Gabriel Valley, not just in Pasadena, couldn't own homes at. So for individuals who were from Indiana that came to Pasadena during that time, there wasn't very much commingling. There wasn't very much diversity. In the nation, there were some real social issues that were happening. So, and Pasadena was not an exception. What was happening in the world in terms of race and how people were getting along, it was evident here in Pasadena as well too.
Yeah, I mean, it was basically an unwritten sundown town in many parts of the city. It wasn't as pronounced as some of the surrounding cities. You know,
Right.
Now, Ray, have you been to the Rose Bowl before?
I have. I have covered some NFL games there.
Okay.
And I covered 2 Super Bowls there.
Say it again.
See,
He has a history there. Love that. That's part of his resume. I've covered 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, he will not be covering Super Bowls there anymore.
I love that.
He covered. So this matchup, Ray. What will people be watching on Wednesday at 1:00 after they've watched the parade all day, all morning? What's the matchup look like on Saturday? Excuse me. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Saturday. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, actually, hats off to the NCAA for setting up this playoffs in the way they did, because now you're down to the final 8. And of these final 4 games, the Indiana-Alabama game to me is right up there on marquee status. I mean, you got a very strong following from Alabama coming here. You've got a brand new fan base in Indiana coming this way. From an economic standpoint, Pasadena is going to do well. That stadium will be full. I don't know if they still have all the 100,000 seats there, but it'll be close to that. And because Indiana is the talk of the nation, they're the new Cinderella and the new darling of college football. They're bringing a Heisman Trophy winner with them, with their quarterback Fernando Mendoza. And Indiana has this rep now that they're a better team than what people thought they were. They beat Ohio State to win the Big Ten championship, and they haven't done that since 1967. This is a very good matchup. The one thing that people may want to be careful with is that I think Alabama is better than what people thought they'd be. This is not your typical Alabama team. They don't have the up and down NFL prospects all through the lineup, but they've got athletes over there. They've got talent on that roster. This is going to be a good test for Indiana. So I'm looking forward to seeing this game. It's going to be a good game to watch. And, I know the boss is going to be tuned in. Tavis, that's his school, Indiana.
That's right.
So I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much bad about him. But
so I won't ask for your prediction then, right? I don't have a dog in the fight. And you cover sports. You probably should be, right? Larry Ty, who you like? Yeah. Who you like in this game?
I like Alabama.
You like
Alabama has a strong history. Indiana, I'm looking for a good game. I'm loving what Ray just said. Cinderella in the Rose Bowl, how great this game is. I don't think that there's going to be any other matchup after our New Year's Day game.
You mean the competitive-wise? So is that
competitive-wise,
you think
fan experience-wise, I think that this game will be the highlight of these playoffs.
I mean,
the championship game. It will be what it will be, but it won't be in the Rose Bowl.
Well,
That's the unfortunate part.
The other one to kind of keep an eye on is the Cotton Bowl, Miami and Ohio State. That's a game that a lot of people are watching as well. Miami has surprised some folks, and a lot of people thought Miami shouldn't be in. But when they went down to Texas A&M and ran them out of there, that's a team Ohio State going to have to be careful with. And, Ohio State's the defending champion. But I think Miami's going to give them a real strong test. So that's the other game that's probably right below Indiana and Alabama.
Well, that, as Brother Todd said, the fan experience, that's the only thing I got to push back on you, brother, about this here game, because, a new trailer in a trailer park is nice for people.
It might be a double wide.
So perhaps our guest in town might see the Rose Bowl as a great fan experience. So either one of y'all, you think the Ohio State Miami game and the Oklahoma University of Indiana game. The winners of those two games, you see them running the table and being in the final matchup.
Yeah, those are the two teams those are two games that stand out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if Indiana is able to beat Alabama, you're looking at a really good possibility that they've got a chance to run the table. I'm not sure about Alabama. I'm not sure how strong they are this year to make their run the whole way. But the way Indiana's been playing, they're 13-0. They passed every test they had to pass, and this could be their year. The only other team out there that looks like they've got a chance to make some noise is possibly Georgia. They're the number 3 seed in this. They've got Mississippi in the Sugar Bowl. That Georgia team is strong too. And the way that Georgia has kind of run through their season, I mean, they've only lost one game. That's the only other squad I'm looking at that may have a shot to do this. I'm not sure about Oregon and Texas Tech. Both of those are good teams, but they're not on the level of the 3 teams we're talking about.
That's the voice of Ray Richardson, KBLA. That's Lawrence Todd, president of the Pasadena Sports Hall of Fame. We're having this sports conversation. New Year's Day is coming. New season. Old sports teams. When we come forward, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of your top sports stories. I'm really interested to hear what both of you, what stood out, this year. I'm going to put a condition in that conversation. We're going to take the Dodgers repeat off the table. That was incredible. I mean, it took them 8 games to win the World Series. They fought hard, but I don't want to hear that, right? Right. So when we come forward, we'll continue that conversation only on KBLA Talk 1580. We got your black.
Faces, sunburned skin, fixed expression, smiles, one thing, caught in the blinking neons of Hollywood, bending battles, maneuvering schemes.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with BIN News Now. Harris County DA Sean Tier says the discovery of nearly 36 bodies in Houston, Texas area bayous this year does not mean there's a serial killer at large. 3 bodies turned up in local bayous last week, bringing the total for the year to 34. Flu season has started early.
We're all about to start having more holiday gatherings, and there's more travel.
And it's being driven by a new K variant of the influenza A strain. And people are paying more attention on what to take if they contract the illness. Tamiflu is the most prescribed medication to fight flu, but it's not the only option. There's another antiviral called Xofluza that doctors are recommending for certain patients. Beyonce is now a billionaire. According to Forbes, the global superstar earned the distinction thanks to her successful Cowboy Carter tour. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
If you're traveling through Downey, an earlier wreck that was in lanes has now been moved to the center divider, 105 westbound connector from the 605 south. There is still a bit of a delay, so you may want to give yourself a head start there. As we move into Santa Ana, a stall remains in the carpool lane 5 northbound before First Street, and in Pomona, an earlier wreck has now been shimmied to that shoulder, 60 eastbound at Phillips Ranch Road. Watch for some delays.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Is this the tackle? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
For the second week in a row, the Rams did not look like one of the dominant teams in the NFL. The Rams fell behind 21-0 at halftime in Atlanta Monday night and ended up losing 27-24. They had a bunch of chances to come back and win it, but couldn't make the plays to get it done. 3 interceptions for Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford, 1 return for a touchdown. The 11-5 Rams are 2-3 in their last 5 games. I'll have more in today's afternoon sports meeting on what Monday night's loss could mean for the Rams' playoff seeding. The Chargers are resting quarterback Justin Herbert for the final regular season game Sunday at Denver. Backup Trey Lance will be the starter. The Chargers want to give Herbert's left hand more time to heal before the AFC playoffs. Herbert has surgery on his hand December 1st to repair a fractured bone. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At the tone, please record your message.
You ready?
Drop it!
Mr. Tavis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
JP Morgan Chase offers tips for the local business owners in 2025. Small business landscape is ever changing, and the Los Angeles market is no exception. A startup or legacy business, revisiting your mission statement and recalibrating offerings can renew opportunities for growth and innovations. Programs like Chase for Business Coaching for Impact gives entrepreneurs access to expert guidance, helping you streamline operations, strategize your growth, and navigate complex challenges. Businesses with a clear sense of purpose can navigate any challenge effectively, but also build stronger customer loyalty. Visit chase.com/coaching for impact for more information. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you ready? I said, are you ready? Here we go. Machine, let them know who we are. I can't hear you.
KBLA Talk 1580. That's first things first. I'm James Farr. I am sitting in for the Queen, Dominique DePrima. That is the theme song of Morgan State University. Dub Bears, their magnificent marching machine. They're actually in town for the Rose Parade, and as y'all can see, I am proudly wearing my Morgan State apparel and colors. Why? Because I am a proud Morgan State dad. I had their president, Dr. David Dr. Wilson, on Conversation Live Altadena Rising just this past weekend. It's their first time in town, so they'll be performing today at Bandfest at Pasadena City College at 1 p.m. And then yesterday I spent some time over at the float decorating for the parades with the Black Freedom Fund, who has a float in this year's parade called Rising Together, which will feature fire survivors in a float, honoring, and it's been a heavy load this year, and what some have described as the longest January, as we're just a little over a week away from that 1 year anniversary. We're gonna go to Kwamel, who has a question, and then we'll jump into these headlines with Ray and Lawrence. Kwamel, what you got for us this morning, brother?
I had to find my way on with Mighty James Farr, and I know I once gave you hell, but I said, it's water.
It's all good, brother. You know what? Listen, man, hey, I throw hands. I mean, with my pen, brother, with my pen in my mouth. What you got? We all good, brother.
As long as you don't throw forks, because I'm not trying to get punctured with the pork. That's all that is. Yeah, man. I'm messing with you. But anyway, just listen to the college discussion. First off, I do hope Indiana wins the whole thing. But the main thing with me is I was very disappointed when the Pac-12 broke up and USC and UCLA go throw themselves at the longtime enemy. Especially, USC pretty much the catalyst for the whole thing. Football is kind of. What the? I'm a Bruin fan, man. Go on with that. Nah, but they've. I feel like football's been kind of wrecking all the conferences, and end up having everybody except Oregon State and Washington State, which I guess was considered just the redheaded stepsisters, all ducking off to these other conferences, and even though they're rebuilding with like some of these state schools. I want to know that all of those other schools that sat there and abandoned Oregon State and Washington State, do y'all feel that they did the right thing? And I'll take y'all comments off the air. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Kwamel. Thanks for the call, brother. Thanks for being part of the delegation. Who wants to stab at it first? Lawrence, Ray?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. There's a lot of motivations right now that are happening in football in the NCAA. We have the name, image, and likeness that has a lot to do now with not just how it's benefiting student athletes, but is also, if we're benefiting and giving these young athletes these large sums of money, we have to figure out what is the best way to obtain those large sums of money. And a lot of it has to do with competing for better contracts in better conferences. Arguably, some may say that they're not better conferences, but it's a business now. It's been changed.
What you got, Ray?
He's right. It is a business. Big business. College football has driven this conference realignment, and it is a little disturbing that you don't see the traditional alignments anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The USC and UCLA really had no choice with the Pac-12 disbanding and folding up like it did. I don't blame the Big Ten at all for wanting those two schools in there, because that brings in a lot more prestige. It brings in a lot more revenue. USC and UCLA needed the Big Ten because they needed to be in a conference that was going to help them improve their brand. And now there's a lot more travel involved. They're going to have a lot more tough conference games during the regular season. It's a good fit for them. As far as Oregon State and Washington State, they're not on the level of USC and UCLA, and the Big Ten didn't need them. And they also didn't need Cal and Stanford. Cal and Stanford jumped into the ACC. They had no other place to go. and Oregon State and Washington State went into the Big West Conference. So, USC, UCLA were the prize products in this realignment, and this is just another example how college football is changing the landscape of college sports. We're not talking about our grandfather's college football or our daddy's college football anymore. This is a brand new day.
Which is why I said that UCLA has to move to SoFi, Kwame, Brother Todd, because they cannot compete with the facilities of many of these other schools. These kids don't care about the history of the Rose Bowl. The landscape is shifting, but I'll leave that where it is, and I'll flush it one last time, and let the bowl be the bowl. Brother Todd, I wanted to go to you. Your top story, you told me, is the Lakers trade of Anthony Davis for Luka. Why?
A lot of people didn't want it. A lot of people in the industry believe that it was a bad trade for both teams. We had Anthony Davis. Dallas had Luka. Now that it's happened, we look back. Who do you think won that? It hasn't been so good for Dallas, but it's been great for us so far. So whatever the opposition was to it in the beginning, with all the hoopla about why is it happening, why would we get rid of somebody, especially somebody who was so close with LeBron James, that it has actually worked out for us, for all of our Laker fans here.
Agree or disagree, Ray?
I agree. That trade was one of my top three stories, and it's good he mentioned that, because that trade is still being talked about. The only part I didn't like about that trade was that it put the Dallas general manager, Nico Harrison, on hot seat. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the way they treated him after that trade. That was disgusting how they did him. Nico Harrison was acting under orders of the ownership to make that trade. They didn't want to give Luka that big money after last season. He was up for a max contract. They didn't want to give it to him. They didn't like his workout ethics. His workout habits were a little shaky. They couldn't keep him in shape down there. They just didn't want to give a guy $300 million who they could not depend on to be a solid player physically. And I don't blame them for that. But Nico Harrison is not the reason that trade was made. I mean, he talked about doing it, but the ownership gave him permission to pull the trigger on it. To me, that's the thing that stands out as the worst part of that. I don't have a problem with Anthony Davis being shipped out of here. AD's best days are way behind him. And I'm not trying to put salt on him, but Anthony
just a little
Davis,
bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, Anthony Davis, he has not lived up to the standards of what he used to be, and I don't blame Dallas for being mad at him for not being there, because he has not shown them that he was a nice return for Luka. It has not happened for the Dallas market, and I feel sad for AD, but he's got to get himself together to help people forget about that trade if they can. Right now, he hasn't done nothing near that.
Right. Well, the chat room is on fire. Molly Bell says, Ray, you're the reason she watches sports. You keep her up to date on it. Got some other questions coming in. Jacqueline Anderson is talking about the granddaddy of them all, and
that's right.
Yeah, well, granddaddy need to sit down somewhere, right? That's just Pops. You ain't hit. Ray, you had some top stories. I'm curious to know. You said Brother Todd hit one of yours. So what else was on your list?
Well, my other two was Shedeur Sanders, the way his situation developed in the NFL draft back in April. For a kid that was viewed and rated as a potential first-round pick, maybe a top 5 pick, to fall all the way down to the 5th round, 2 days on the 3rd day of the draft, it opened up some doors to more than just football talk with him. Mm-hmm. And exactly. A lot of that talk was around his father. And then there was some concerns about Shedeur's attitude when he met with teams in the pre-draft process. They thought he was too cocky and he had too much of an ego. Those are the things that dropped him down in the draft more than his skill level. And so now he's had to really prove himself and reinvent himself in Cleveland. And that still has not been proven yet. He's still not to the point where they can say he's their franchise quarterback. As a 5th round pick, you are not a franchise quarterback. You got to earn your way to get there. And just to talk about how he got treated in the draft is still on people's minds. My other one is the situation with University of Michigan, where Sharon Moore gets fired.
Ooh.
You know, for what happened to him.
Butter knife and scissors.
It's just sad that it's sad that a brother. You know, black coaches don't get a job like that too often. When you get a brother in there at the University of Michigan, one of the more historically powerful college football programs, that was something to celebrate. But for him to just turn that into, you know, some other stuff and just forget about who he was and where he was, it's just sad. And, you know, out of 130 D1 schools, there's only 16 black head coaches. And now that number is going to be even less, because now people are going to be wondering about, you know, if I talk to a black coach, you know, what is he like? You know, what's his personal life like? And to me, that was one of the things that we're going to be talking about for a long time. Let me see if I can squeeze Morris in real quick. Morris is on the line. Got a question about the Clippers. Morris, you got a quick question for us? We want to land it real quick.
Ray, Kawhi dropped 55 points. He dropped 55 points. Are the Clippers going to make the playoffs, or am I tripping this year? Is he going to bring them back? Is he going to bring them back this year? Thanks a lot.
No, he's not.
He needs 55 every night for the rest of the season.
The whole season?
The whole season.
We ain't even at the All-Star break yet.
We need it for the whole month of January through February after
the
All-Star game.
I feel so sad for Ty Lue. Ty Lue deserves better than this.
He does.
Ty Lue is a good dude, a good brother. Check this out, y'all. When we come forward, we're going to continue this conversation about the top sports stories in 2025. I've already taken off the table that the Dodgers needed 8 games and then some extra innings to win the World Series. It was impressive, but I don't want to talk about the Dodgers. I know we in L.A., and I'm supposed to talk about the Dodgers, but I don't want to talk about the Dodgers. Why? Because I'm a San Francisco Giants fan. When we come forward, we'll continue this conversation. Lawrence Todd is in the building. Ray Richardson is on the line. 2 sports casters, historians, archivists, journalists, and all around good brothers. Stay with us only on KBLA Talk 1580. We got your black.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
With your Los Angeles Public Library card, you can access the latest music, movies, audiobooks, ebooks, graphic novels, and more, all for free. Check it out at lapl.org/emedia. That's lapl.org/emedia.
It's never too early to start talking about money in realistic ways with your kids. JP Morgan Chase navigates how to educate your kids now about creating long-lasting, healthy money habits. Whether your kids are in elementary school, high school, or college, now is a great time to start a conversation about ways to create healthy money habits as they grow, ultimately benefiting their financial future. Talking about money in a realistic way to support your kids' lifestyle and dreams, your first banking account geared towards high school or college. It's never too early. Explaining the basics, what you earn and what you spend, building financial confidence starts with getting organized. Learning and practicing vital money skills now will stay with them for life. Tools they will have to stay on top of their finances and achieve their goals. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth.
Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome. We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
Okay.
Oh, I knew I loved you till you left me. Oh, I knew I cared till you were gone. I was young and foolish, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know I lost you till gone. Oh, I knew I loved you.
KBLA Talk 1580. First things first, James Farr. I am in for the Queen, Dominique Prima. Ray Richardson's on the line. Lawrence Todd is in the building, having this conversation about sports 2025 best or top headlines for each of them. These guys are sports historians, sports journalists, sportscasters. They just are all around sports guys. And as the promo said, nah, I ain't blacking down. Andy, I'm a San Francisco Giants fan. I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. I'm a Golden State Warriors fan. What you got? Never mind. Ray, they in here banging on me, man. What else you got?
Remember where you are.
You right. You right about that, man.
It's not the Bay Area.
It ain't the Bay.
It's not the Bay.
Man, we 10 toes though. You twice. You got to beat our. We fight twice. That's how we settle our differences in the Bay. You get it twice, you got it. What else you got for us, Lawrence Todd? Top sports story as we pound through the rest of this hour.
The NBA gambling scandal. Much like Ray was talking about, Shador, that a lot of these stories are they have their own fire. They don't really need too much fuel, but once they get started, it's out there. So for the NBA to have, a small handful of basketball players, even alleged Hall of Famer to be allegedly involved in this, that I think that it's something that the fans and people that are in the sports just didn't need, unless it's really clear. Right now, it's just all, again, allegations, but it was one of those stories that makes us all wonder, because basketball brings in a lot of revenue in gambling, legalized gambling.
Did that shock you, Ray? I mean, you talk with athletes, and you've been in those press rooms and stuff. Were you shocked that perhaps cats are actually betting on games and all of what we see in those allegations?
Well, I'm not shocked because I've been an NBA writer for about 20 years, and I know guys do gamble among themselves. They play cards a lot. They'll bet on different things, but I never heard about anybody betting on games before. And again, the key word here is allegations. That we still haven't had a trial, and there's still investigations going on. But when you got a head coach of an NBA team caught up in something like this, that really raises an alarm. These guys are not making the wisest of choices. You're making so much money. I don't get why guys want to risk their livelihoods for the thrill of winning something in a gamble. It just blows my mind why even guys get caught up in this. But this is not just these guys doing this. There is a much bigger snake involved in this.
Absolutely.
There are some people higher up that we don't even know about yet that are just looking back, and these guys were put out on Front Street, but they were put out there by somebody else. They were put out there by somebody else, and these fat cats, they have not brought them to the courtroom yet, and I don't know if they ever will. We're talking about organized crime involved in this. And
sure.
It's just a shame that these brothers get caught up in that.
Well, we obviously know that, one, because they're black, it was easy to make them the face of it. The other thing is that when you're named in an indictment and all those things, the feds don't release mugshots. And so it was easy and low-hanging fruit for the media to kind of just pull, obviously, because these are well-known sports figures and, plenty of public pictures. But they are providing, I don't want to say cover, but some anonymity for the other ones. So I'm going to tell you what, it wasn't really a story for me. I'm trying to manage this time real quick. It's not really a story. It is the realization of the proliferation of gambling on sports, and now the availability, the accessibility for folks to gamble on sports. And gosh, I forget his name. He used to write for not ESPN, but Sports Illustrated and everything. But he likened it to gambling on sports is the new tobacco. Pablo, there you go. Yes, there you go. You know what I mean? So it's that just, and I think part of that is I wasn't understanding why the fan experience watching games with people was so displeasurable, because I thought they were just too vested in the win and the loss, and the guy's on his phone mad because somebody missed a field goal.
Yeah.
Are we going to get that under control?
Part of that fan experience, though, was that this came after OKC had just won, where the NBA was celebrating a new champion. So it took away some of the fan experience.
Man, we hard on the time, and this hour kind of flew by, and I could have continued this conversation for so much longer. Ray, how can people get in touch with you? Tell us when your show is on.
Speaking of show, I got some programming news for you. Out of Bounds is moving to Friday nights at 6 o'clock.
What? You heard it here, folks. First and exclusive. Starting when, Ray?
Yeah. We started on January 9th. Me and my co-host Neil Scarborough are moving from Saturday to Friday night at 6, and looking forward to it. And so let the world know that we're coming. We're coming to prime time, and we're looking forward to talking to all you folks out there. But Out of Bounds is making a move, and we're going to be bigger and better in 2026.
That's right. Larry Todd, I got 5 seconds. How can people get in touch with you? Real quick.
Pashoff Pal, PASHOFPAL at AOL.com or www.PasadenaSportsPlaying.org.
That's Larry Todd, Ray Richardson, Melina Abdullah up next, only on KBLA Talk 1580. We got you black.
Alejandro slightly. Just know you took the scenic route if you stand by me, stupid. So fly in this 50 on me, don't die trying it.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with BIN News Now. New Orleans officials are ramping up security as the one-year anniversary of the New Year's Day terror attack approaches. On January 1st, a man drove a pickup truck into crowds on Bourbon Street, killing 14 people and injuring dozens more. 4 victims are black.
It appears that we're going to have close to 800 law enforcement downtown in the French Quarter.